Okay, testing. Oh, no, admit all. Man, waiting, admit all. Admit all. Admit all. Admit all. Oh man, I screwed up. I put the waiting room in here. Now I gotta do admit. Now I'm gonna have to do this individual admitting. So we have to spend the first 5 minutes me trying to admit everybody. Who hears me? Let me know if you hear me. Share. Okay, that's good. Connie hears me. Kevin hears me. You guys seeing the screen, right? Participants. Okay. All right. My participants. Let me find if I have you. More. Chat. Okay. Waiting room. Admit. All right, I'm gonna have to spend, and first I totally forgot to unclick the waiting room thing, so now I've got to spend a couple minutes me letting everybody go through the waiting room. All right, let me actually put up trade view charts. So we'll layer this over. Okay, that's fine. You guys are seeing trading, should be seeing trading view, right? Oh, good. Hi, Miguel. Hi, Carol. Hi, Connie. Everybody's here. Let me get Paula in the room. Oh, man, this is so annoying. Now I got to look at, okay, we're going to give it just a couple more minutes, let everybody rotate inside here. So we're going to start with longer term charts. As Abdul, I can't say, I'm gonna have to wait till 9:05 because this otherwise it's gonna be unfair to everybody else who's late. I gotta figure out, I gotta change the parameters to keep people, to kill the waiting room. Oh man, I hate the waiting room. I hate the Zoom waiting room. You guys all heard what happened to Jeffrey Toobin yesterday? Not to change the subject, but you know, just Google the word Zoom dick and you'll be thoroughly amused about what not to do on Zoom. Okay, there's nobody more. Everybody is in the room. Everybody's in the room. Who is that? There's nobody here. Okay, all good. Okay, all right. I think I can begin. Okay, so I'm going to start with Bitcoin because we're going to go through the longer term charts. This is the 1 hour chart, right? You're watching me 1 hour chart with the session indicator on here. And we're going to annotate and kind of understand where the trades are, how you would trade it, you know, and some possible suggestions. We're going to do this every day now in Zoom so that we can prepare for longer term trades in case you guys want to take some. First of all, let's just appreciate how great session is on Bitcoin, right? So here is a sell signal, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I think it's the 18th. That's I guess that's Friday, right? Because it's 1 hour charts, right? This sell signal is negated by this buy candle over here. Because if you look at this, the high on here is 48, the close here is 51. So negates the sell signal. You get long over here. Let's just trade it with a 50 target, 100 stop. Boom, easy money, right? Easy money right there, 50. Secondary signal over here, that doesn't get negated until this candle over here, another 50 coming up, right? Candle over here at the high of 85, that gets negated by, I guess this one, by 800, right? So now we're 11,800, looking for 50 with 100 stop. This goes to 11,850. Boom, just hits the 50 before it's sliding back down to 700, but not even taking you out. Oh no, this one does take you out. I think this is it just takes you out by 1 pip, but would mean a major target again. So you had 3 consecutive winning trades here in Bitcoin over the last several days, just following the path. So what's the possible setup in Bitcoin now? So obviously now the only reference point that's operational is this buy point, which means that if Bitcoin decides to slide back, let's say we have stimulus deal, you might get risk on trades continuing. Although I think honestly, Bitcoin is trading very much on its own dynamic, and it looks to me very bullish. I actually really like this chart on a longer term basis. But should we get a turn in trend, the only way you would want to trade the turn in trend is if this particular reference point is broken, which is the low here is 11,738. Needs to close below 11,738 on an hourly basis in order to initiate any kind of a potential sell signal. So to summarize, we have a nice strong rally in BIT. It's hit three winning buy signals. Its only operational signal now is a turn trade off of the low here, which is 1138. And for now, there's no trades here in Bitcoin. Okay, let's take a look at where's my DAX? Oh, because I want to go through indices first. So here's the DAX. Sorry, here's the DAX. Let's take a look at the DAX on a 1 hour chart. So again, this is a 1 hour chart. Everybody should see it's 1 hour chart, right? Everybody sees that. The DAX gap down, V-shaped up, really no signals for us since the start of the week. For now, we have a sell candle, right, which fails. I guess if you really, this is a very, very, very sloppy reversal. But in this case, the sell candle, I'm not even sure if the sell candle is really under the cross. You wouldn't. Sorry, this isn't. I take it back. It's not even a legitimate turn candle because this is the first sell candle. We need a second sell candle. In other words, we have to have some evidence of continuity of downtrend before we even consider a turn trade. So it's not even a trade. It's like there's nothing here. It's perfect. The setup is perfect. Looking back, last week, you see beautiful setups to the upside here. Again, if you just want to trade 50, 100, 50 winner, 50 winner. I'm not sure where this was. The high here was, what's the high? 74. Does this close me? This is 76. This just trips me. This just closes me into the trade. This one is 71, just into the trade, and then it slips all the way down to, let's see, 76. 1276 would be my stop. Does not trigger my stop, and then it eventually takes us to profit right over here. So 3 winners in a row, very nice. And then after that, we have like no trades in the DAX. So DAX is just trying to find its way. There's just nothing going on. We take a look at the FTSE as well, which looks a little more constructive here to the upside. So FTSE is sending us a first buy signal. What we need, obviously, for us to trade this well, we need a sell signal that gets rejected for us to trade this to the upside. FTSE really doesn't have any clear signals. The last signal FTSE sent us was on the 16th of October, where this sell was negated by this buy, and this is what so it was 59.31. I don't think you could trade this with a 50-100. I think you would probably want to trade this with a 20, because it's a much smaller value. So you might want to take this with 25.50. So if you did that, then you were 31. You're looking for 25. That would be 56 on the trade, which hits right over here, right? And it definitely survives the 50 stop. So you had a little bit of retrace, but 4 hours later, boom, hits the 25s as the only possible trade over the last week or so of trading. You could have also, so again, this is a very, very big stretch, very, very big stretch. So you have a negative sell candle that eventually gets repudiated, I believe, by this move over here, So this candle over here would have also given you a 25.50 win over here on this particular trade. So couple of possible trades. The FTSE clearly a slower, lower trade. Now, the interesting thing about all of this, by the way, is, oh, hang on, fuck, I got so many people waiting. Okay, sorry. Damn. I gotta keep my eye on it. Hi everybody. I'm sorry hi everybody. I'm sorry I screwed up. I put a waiting room. I'm gonna try to lift that tomorrow. So I have to manually, oh, there's Mel. I'm gonna add Mel now. It's just to catch you guys up who are new in the room. We're just going through 1 hour charts on a whole bunch of indices. We looked at DAX, we looked at the FTSE right now, we looked at Bitcoin. There isn't any immediate setups, but I'm just kind of analyzing, what's going on back and forth. We're going to go through some other indices as well. So we might as well now take a look at the U.S. indices. We'll take the Dow, which so Dow is very much setting us up right now for a possible buy signal. This assumes this. I mean, what will, if we get stimulus impulse? If Pelosi's going on Bloomberg at 12:30, and if she says, yeah, it looks like Mnuchin really caved and we're ready to do a $2 trillion deal, even though it's not going to get done, it's clear that you're going to get some positive flows here. So this high over here, which is 401, we close above 401, 28,401, will put us into a buying position with a 50 target, 100 stop. Should be a very, very doable trade if it can, if it constructs. Of course, the massive risk here is that it's a headline driven trade. So if then the next moment Trump comes out and says, no, I don't think I can do the deal, this will just slide right down. So beware that this is a very spiky move. But presumably, if we get a positive fundamental help from this, it should move up to the upside. So the Dow is setting itself up for a possible turn trade, right? NAS is nowhere near. NAS is really, really kind of negative. If NAS gets a buy candle, then it might set us up for a possible failure of the buy candle to the downside. Look, by the way, how clean and clear the failure of the buy candle was over here. This was 15th of October. This buy candle fails. We sell at 857, right? And we're looking for 50, and it goes like a full 100 our way, coming down. So NAS doesn't really have anything unless we have this incredible burst of enthusiasm, and the NAS beats the sell reference point over here at 1886. So we close at, let's say, 11,900. That would be a very, very bullish impulse, and you'd want to go the other way around. But from here to there is a long way right now. We can take a look at also the S&P on a CFD basis. This really has no signals. I mean, it's just been very, very, very flat. And, we've just had slices without reference points, which occurs, and then we just have to step back. So there's just really nothing to look at because we don't even have any anchor points from which to trade. But remind me, I want to show you something interesting once we get off the long-term charts. And now let's take a look at the currencies. Okay. So remember, I was very bullish euro, right? I was very, very bullish euro. Euro continues to be bullish. We just don't have, right now, there are no anchor points from which to get off of. The most recent buy impulse was off of this candle over here. That's long gone, and now it's just simply in a stratosphere. the most natural thing to prepare for is a possible failure of trend, because if we close below 1770 on this off this candle here, that would be a failure of trend, and we can get a reversal. But for now, just straight up to the moon. Yen, remember I said to you, yen was yesterday. We talked about the yen, and the yen was a breakout buy at around 45. It was a close 45, right? So that broke out on this candle over here, retraced a little bit, and now just continues to move higher. So yen clearly gave a great buy impulse on the move. Pound is doing nothing. Pound is really, I think, struggling against the confusion on the Brexit story. And in fact, right now, as you're looking at the pound, this buy reference point has been broken to the downside at 37, right? Let's say 37. So you could conceivably take a short here with a I don't even know, like probably you'd have to do a 30-15 minimum. So probably like a 57 stop, a 12 target to see if if cable runs towards the 29s on essentially, I think, a little bit of negative sentiment on this, on the whole Brexit thing. One of the things that people that we wrote about in our election hub that people really don't appreciate is a Biden victory is not great news for UK, because Biden is going to give them nothing as far as a trade deal goes, and may even encourage Scotland to spin out of UK and go into the EU. So there's like a lot of pressure now on Johnson to cut a deal with EU, because he's not going to have Big Daddy to protect him if Trump loses. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. So cable clearly signaling relative weakness here to this side. Dollar Swiss is just dollar's really getting hammered on, I guess, risk on flows. We don't have any signals here. These are all sell candles. In fact, if anything, if we're looking for a turn in the dollar move, the turn. So we're at 44 minutes here, right? So this is a reference point. If this ends up as a reference point, then a break of this above. This is a very, very tight market. Wow, so boring in the currencies. So if you're trading 82, 83 on the close, an hour from now, that would create a general turn. A more impressive turn in trend would be a break above 91.01 on a closing basis, right? So this is the second reference point against which. So if we totally turned around, that'd be great. But as you can see, the true impulse in Swissy was to the downside. This buy reference point broken over here. You have a little bit of heat against you. You sell 98s, it goes a whopping 10 pips against you, and then it drops like a stone all the way down to more than 20 points, right? So if you traded that last night, you had a great, you had a good signal on that. Caddy, Caddy's been very, very shoddy. This was a buy impulse in dollar CAD over here at 98, and as usual, Caddy is playing games with us. So this actually buy impulse failed. I think the rule of thumb is if there is a currency pair to break your setup, it's dollar CAD. I don't think I despise a currency pair more in a sense that it doesn't matter what structure, what signal, what thing you want to do, it will always break your setup. So it's the most manipulated currency pair in the world, in my opinion. So I'll leave it to you. I despise dollar CAD, but yeah, false signal over here. At this point, the only trade is to take this to the upside. If we close above 92s, that puts us on an upward impulse, and maybe it finally catches a bit and goes down. Aussie, obviously, very, very negative most of the night on the ZERP idea that everybody is looking for RBA to go zero interest rates. There's really no signals here. The counter trend view on Australia came from Goldman Sachs last night, saying that if global economic flows really pick up and risk-on flows become more durable than we think, that is, global recovery becomes stronger into 2021. It's actually very positive for Australia. China is going to have to buy, regardless of how much they hate the Australians at this point or not. And that creates a natural support level around the 70s. So if we want to trade this whole notion of possible support ahead of the 70s, what we need to see is a break above 42, close 43 or higher on an hourly basis, which breaks this sell candle signal, would put us into a positive reversal mode. Pound yen's got nothing. Just basically, again, if we get big risk flow, if pound turns around to the upside, close above 90, I would say 36.95 or higher, puts us back into positive territory. As it stands right now, we're actually flirting with where is this? It's not closed yet, so we've got 40 minutes to close. But at 10 o'clock, the low of this buy, I mean, none of this is really clean and clear, but this is the reference point. So the low of this buy is 60. So we're trading what, 63 right now? If we're 60 or below on the hourly candle, that means so we're somewhere around here. That actually is a negative trade with a 20-40 move. I think is pretty decent in pound yen. And here is euro yen, which is just nothing but straight up euro yen. Look at this beautiful signal at 2 o'clock in the morning on euro yen. Completely reverses the sell candle. You get long at 32. It's it's 50 points higher on a very clean trade. And that, by the way, is kind of the story of FX, is that when we're trading on a 1 minute chart, we're trading like one instrument. It's giving us all these signals, and we're just trading that, or we're trading 2 or 3 instruments, and they're giving us all these signals. When you're trading the longer term charts, you're looking through like 28 charts to find the one that may be setting up, in the time frame that you're looking at. So it's the exact opposite dynamic. And I think some people like one way, the other people like the other way. Some people like both. But the point being is that it's a very different process to find trades using my structure on longer term charts than it is to find trades using my structure on shorter term charts. Is that clear to everybody? Does everybody understand how you're basically cycling through 28 currency charts, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, to find just one tradable idea, versus sitting on one single chart for 5 to 6 hours to find 10 tradable ideas on a 1 minute chart. Does everybody understand that? Somebody give me a yes. Tell me that you guys are still awake after we did all this analysis. So that's where things are. Let me just let David in. Okay, people are coming in to join me. All right, so what we got? We have about 21, so we got about 10 more minutes. I actually want to share something interesting with you. This is the one? Yeah, this is the account. Okay, so this is good. So I want to share something interesting with you. So let's get big on, let me just minimize this. Let's get big on this for a second, just for a second. I want to show you something. Let me see if I can unhook this. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I am just kind of let you know. So this is my. I've now like gone to 2 accounts. This one is like the micro account, just me screwing around, and then they have another one that is the big account where I trade the large E-mini NASDAQ contract. And it's all, it's going really well, actually. I'm super happy with the structure and the setup. But there's a couple of interesting things that I just wanted to share with you for those of you guys who are trading on a scalping basis. So, I'm just kind of, trading in the morning. This morning, just kind of lackadaisically. Everything is working well. You can see, just taking trades, and then I get clipped out on this particular trade, right? You get clipped out on this particular trade. Now, what's interesting is that I had the setup. The setup was proper. This was beating the high, right? It looked like it was ready to turn, and then a news bomb hit. This is me getting clipped by a news bomb, which is 100% legitimate. And the news bomb was that the DOJ is going to officially sue Google for antitrust, and that's obviously very negative technology. So it just starts to go down. So I get clipped out. I learned, I see this is news, right? And so then I just, I do one trade that is really not kosher at all. I just simply do a flow trade because I thought this was gonna, go continue. Remember, I'm trading with a 9, 3.5. By the way, one of the things that I had to adjust because of slippage and everything else. I had to. I was trading with a 3 target was just impossible from a P&L point of view to achieve because I need to give myself that half a point of slippage because the markets they really screw you half the time on execution. So in order for me to hit that 80-85% win rate, I needed the 3.5 to make up for slippage. Anyways, so I hit, I recover some of my trade, to the downside. Now this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting. So I don't have any buy or sell signals here, right? I don't have any buy or sell points, but I noticed that, for example, first of all, you see this is a reversal candle, and this is the first kind of positive candle, right? So what I did was I did a straddle. Let me see if I can actually mimic this, what I did. Just, and again, this is all me fooling around, but fooling around within the parameters of my structure, right? So I set up a straddle because I say this is going to be the reference candle against which we're either going to, all this news is going to get reversed, or we're going to have more continuity on the news. And this is a great example of how you can trade news using the same ideas and same structures. So I had a buy trigger over here, sell trigger to the downside. As you can see, it probed, but it wasn't strong enough. The buyers were just not strong enough to reverse the news. And that's really what was happening. The buyers just not strong enough to reverse the news. So then eventually the sellers come in and they break the lows right over here. This candle breaks the lows. Boom, this hits me, to the downside. And I'm able to, to bank pips. Here again, I go off script, not allowed, and this is a stupid trade. I mean, I made money on it, but it's just a stupid trade. This was not a good quality trade, that I should have taken. But what I want to show you on this, yeah, it really wasn't. It was just luck. So this doesn't work. But what was structurally sound was setting up a straddle against a non-traditional reference point. When you're trading news, because it's going to express itself one way or the other. I just as something I thought you guys might enjoy looking at before we get into the day. We are super flat. This is the futures. We're super flat here, right? Nothing much going on one way or the other. Let's get off of this and let's look at the CFDs. So again, NAS super flat, DAX super flat, and the Dow is super flat. So the Dow natural buy point beating the high over here, which is 28,350, right? As a possible trade. Everything else is kind of just blasé. We're not doing anything. I'm not doing much. Why is administrator? Who's this? Okay. You like the new format, Karen says? So much that you've made. I've made a new spreadsheet. Take notes. Great. I actually have a spreadsheet idea of my own that I wanted to share with you. And since we got about a couple of minutes, I actually want to share with you, and I'm going to type it out, but I'm going to put it into a spreadsheet. And this is for scalpers. I'm going to use New York Times to give you reference points, just because it's easier for me. But this is what I've actually very much decided is really the right structure. So 20 to 22. I'm typing in. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let me show you guys. Might as well type it as we go. So, oops, let's minimize this so we can watch the markets. 20 to 2000 to 2200. These are the only hours when I would scalp indices instruments. This is all New York times. Then I would do 0 to 100. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Asia, when you get the Asia close. Then I would do 6 to 8. This is a very, very good time to trade. I was trading this morning. So let's just do this 6 to 8. Why is this a good time instead of 4 to 6? Because this is midday London. This is like 10 o'clock in the morning London, mid-morning London. And New York, a lot of institutional desks get on the desk at 7 o'clock in the morning. So there's a lot of pre-positioning, pre-New York positioning, right, of trading. And then I would trade, obviously, as we do now, 10 to 12. But we trade 9:30. But we'll just keep it round numbers to 1200 New York. And then the final 2-hour slice when I would trade is the 200 to, sorry, that would be 1400 to 1600 New York. And it really, I would just kill it at 1530, say 1530 New York, somewhere around there. So this is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 slices of the day when our setup works well. Now, it by no means suggests that it doesn't work in other hours. It's just that what we're looking for is it working as many times and as consistently as possible. So yes, of course, other times, especially when we have news bombs, there could be lots of movement and lots of opportunity, but they're exception rather than the norm. And the key to day trading, which is to do the exact same thing every day, is to find the norm, not the exception, right? So the most important thing, this is one of the things that I really mentally started doing myself, has really kept me out of making stupid ass trades, because the probability of my setup failing outside of these hours is much higher than my probability of my setup failing inside of these hours, assuming I adhere to my rules. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because basically when you look at it, this is Asia open, this is Asia close. This is the pre-New York open, like pre-positioning New York. This is New York open and this is New York close. And if you kind of keep yourself to those 5 segments, you're going to be in a much better position to trade the structure successfully, right? And to trade it properly. So we have a very, as I'm watching right now, a super, super boring open. It's 9:30. Let's see what the NAS is doing. NAS kind of diving, so that's negative. NAS actually, so against this reference point, creates a sell structure, but as we said, we never trade the first 3 minutes of the open because of the volatility. So we'll leave it alone. This is actually a pretty legitimate sell structure, but we're only going to do this on a virtual basis. So against the bottom over here, MT5 is so much better platform. So this broke over here, but you see how much of a spike it was, and now it continues to break to the downside as markets are feeling the negative sentiment. But as we all know, NAS is notorious for flushing to the downside on the retail flow, and then possibly reversing, especially if we get any kind of news on this. Now, we actually do have a legitimate DAX downside trade, which I'm going to have to probably just take manually because I'm a little bit late on the trade. So we're going to take this manually. I'm a little bit late on the entry, and I'm taking DAX because it's not as sensitive as the other New York indices to the New York Open. It does send us a break of the buy, so sort of a negative trade. We'll see how this works out. It may still be subject to all the flows of the New York Open, which is like you see how the NAS is turning around, and that's why I did make them. I think I probably shouldn't have taken the NAS to the downside because it is getting pulled, regardless of how I like it. We're going to get tapped out on the DAX probably. It's getting pulled by by the New York flows here, right? And by the way, this should be a buy. So we're going to get long on the NAS over here, and going to let this thing buy because it really took a huge move upside. Now it is a massive volatility move. So I'm going to do something here. Well, let's see if I have to. So far, I may not have to. May not have to move my stops to give myself a little room, but this feels like it, they reversed it in a typical fashion. The entry here should have been here, right? So I'm way late on this entry. So I really have to, I gotta just adjust this entry. I'm not gonna be able to do this. It's unfortunate. I'm late on this entry. Again, this is why one of my rules is to never ever trade manually. But unfortunately, when I get into the New York Open, I'm gonna have to, let's see if I'm gonna have to move. Oops, did I get? I got too late. All right, my volatility I got tagged on the volatility of the DAX. This is on the NAS. Sorry. This still. Well, let's see. The true stop would have to be underneath this candle, which is just a massive move. Let's see if this was a fake out move. Maybe it was. I really need to listen to myself to not trade that. In the meantime, the DAX is starting to turn a little bit our way, so that's good. But I'm still not sure. DAX is really definitely getting and the NAS is okay. So I'm going to use this reference point. If the NAS breaks this reference point over here, I'm going to get short this thing on a setup basis. I may not even be able to, but let's just see. It's just 85. Okay, let me see where this is. This is around here. Yeah. Okay. So at this point, I'm 5 minutes into the play. If we're going to break the reference point here, I want to be short the NAS because that suggests that it doesn't have any upside. On the other hand, I could just be totally whipped out today on my trades. So this is actually a really good example of trying. Let's do a straddle. NAS chart window. Let's do a straddle on this. So we have the NAS against, what is this? This is my NAS. Oh, this is a 5-minute chart, 1 minute chart. This may actually take me into the trade, but again, huge volatility spike. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Whoa! This is really diving. So my DAX is working. Okay. Where's my DAX? I'm going to take my DAX here. I'm going to take my DAX +8. And I think the NAS, unfortunately, is just going to be, where's my NAS? It's going to be such a massive dive that, again, I'm afraid it's going to just, the volatility, but maybe I'm giving myself another try for volatility. Okay, so the NAS also works. Okay, so fake out to the upside, but definitely move to the downside. The DAX survived the move, and so did survived the move and made money, and the NAS definitely made money. This was the true move. I think the rule here is if it's not 935, there's no true rule. I mean, the big mistake I did was just get super excited by the bullshit move to the upside, which is something that they love to do. They love to run it down, squeeze it up, and then the true move comes in to the downside. All right, so at least we managed to find the true trend. Yeah, DAX hits profit, NAS hits profit. both of those. Where's the Dow? I haven't even seen it. The Dow actually super quiet. The Dow is not giving us any real reference point trades here. The Dow, this particular trade, we would just, we can only do one indices at a time. This would have worked for us because against this particular break would have definitely worked for us. But now, now all you can do is maybe put yourself against this potential reference point here, which would be like over here to the upside. But it's a very look at how flat the Dow is. I despise trading my setup when the moving averages are totally compressed. It's essentially a recipe for a whipsaw. Like it's actually a really interesting point that when you really want to trade them is when there's separation and clean trend, failure of trend, all those things. When you get these kind of suppressed, compressed moving averages, it's a great analytical tool, diagnostic tool for not doing something stupid. It may finally now start to run through the levels, and we'll just leave the Dow alone for the time being. Okay, so the DAX is turning back up to the upside. The trade on the DAX would be to beat this high. Let's just see if we can do this. Oh, what happened here? Oh, 7. So let me see if this is correct. Right? Okay, yeah. The problem is whenever I mistype myself, I really do. So this would be, I'm holding kind of the idea here is, can it break this, if it turns this high, yeah, it's possibly a turn trade to the downside. Although really the more intelligent trade is the failure of this buy point, which is something, let me just cancel this. Let's try to do the failure of this buy point, and let's see if this kind of fails to the downside. DAX has generally been in a negative funkadelic move for the most of the European session. They're really not feeling the European session, but maybe the markets are starting to. No, there's nothing going on here. NAS is doing nothing. Dow is spiking through here. So do we want to take this trade? If it closes, do we really want to do this? You kind of do, I guess. I mean, it's a pretty legitimate. I mean, it's flat. Okay, I'm going to take this virtually. I'm going to take this virtually. Probably regret this, but let's just, so we would be long here and effectively over here. We're long over here at this level. We need to see if that's 70, and we need to go to 80. And it's probably going to hit us. It's going to hit target. Yeah, I should have taken this trade. I really didn't like the narrow separation here. So nothing going on over here. DAX is actually moving to the upside and took out the high, and I missed the high. Sorry, guys. I lifted this high that would have taken us straight into the trade. So I think I need to for tomorrow. I need to have 2 charts for every indice, because as you can see, the especially when we have these flat markets, the straddle is really the right trade, and that's going to be part of our repertoire. So tomorrow I'll put in a I'm going to set ourselves up with 2 DAXs, 2 Dows, 2 NASs, so that we can have positions on both sides, and if one of them triggers, then we can manage that, because this would have worked perfectly. Sorry, I missed that move to the upside. All right, we got nothing now going on for the next couple of minutes because those trades moved. But I can count this as my virtual win, because that definitely was a good trade. You took 3 pips from the Dow. Okay. Well, the Dow was really Dow went like full 10, 20 pips. If you usually came in late. You came in late on the entry. The entry was like around 70, right? And it went all the way up to like 85. Yeah. Don't be late. I always, okay. you notice that I'm not taking the trades when they're moving. Like all my money, most of my money is lost on late trades that are correct rather than incorrect trades, right? The chase trade is the thing. One of the things that I've really eliminated is the chase trade as much as possible. I just, don't chase and you won't regret. It's so hard, but there's going to be a million, it's going to be at least 5-6 setups before the end of the day today in all of these indices for us to trade. So it's funny because I was talking to you about the straddle in a theoretical manner just beforehand, and I should have actually put it into the practical manner. So my apologies, guys. I will implement that tomorrow. But you see the run, you see the runs definitely triggering beautifully. So DAX would have come in. You would have bought this here at 80, and it went all the way up to like 96. Would have been an easy 10 points on a DAX. Now there's just nothing going on. It's going to be super slow. NAS is doing nothing. NAS actually has a potential for a secondary sell fail. Oh, where's my thing? How come I don't have my thing here? Okay, so sell on the NAS at like 76. And that would be like right over here. So we close through this candle, this reference candle. That's a legitimate sell signal. Give ourselves 10 periods to work itself out. Yeah, and we'll see. If the NAS wants to crash, that's going to be the reference point against which it's going to go. On the other hand, if it wants to turn, and here, I need to do a second here. Let me do this. The second straddle. The straddle here should, what's going on over here? Oh, okay. This is the straddle. So I need to buy. 70. And the buy reference point would be against this particular point. Let's see if that works. So I basically have a straddle now on the NAS, and needs to beat one or the other side here. So far not really coming up against that reference point to the downside. Definitely not coming up against the reference point to the downside. This is its own buy point here, which once it goes, so this is what I need to do. Unfortunately, okay. So this is its own failed buy point, right? So I can't even put this thing here. So the closest thing I can put here is like somewhere around here. So now see what I'm doing is I'm moving my goalposts, because now this came in as a buy point, and I'm basically looking underneath that buy point to see if NAS fails that buy point, it's going to trigger a sell setup for us. It's a lot of headline volatility, so you can see it's a real challenge to try to. There's very little directional flow here. There's a lot of battle here that we're looking at. We got 8-9 seconds left. I wonder if it's I'm just going to let it. If it triggers the buy point, we'll see it in the chart. So it does trigger the buy point, and now we can just manage the buy. So I'm going to cancel the sell, and here's my buy, and what's going on over here? Oh, I can't even manage this for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the algo got messed up. All right, so let's just see if we can just manage this one. So this triggered the buy against this particular point. That we're going to just see if we can. I'm going to have to manually close this out probably. All right, I'm going to take 3 out of this thing. Screw it. For some reason, I think when I was doing the straddle, the algo got confused, and you see, it wasn't showing me my P&L on my thing, so I knew that it wasn't controlling my chart, so I had to manually get out of it. And also, I didn't love this. This move could hold, but as you can see, it's very, very spiky move. Like it's not even. In fact, this is a ridiculous structure. Let's just see. Let's just go back to the sell side. No, I can't do this anymore. So I want to use this as my potential sell. It's just, you see how spiky it is? Really not giving us any definitive moves. Even the breakouts on the straddle one way or the other, just not having much continuity. But all right. Remember what I said to you about, like, flat moving averages and crap like that. Let's see if this comes down to, if they can't hold the they try to make a couple of rallies to the to the downside. Now they're trying to break it to to the downside because the buyers just could not hold it up. But at the same time, if we don't get a trigger through this level, that's not a trade for us. What's going on with the Dow? Dow really doesn't have any. This is the first buy candle, so we can't really take that as a sell structure. DAX doesn't have anything of value. Where's my NAS? The problem with the 2 chart thing, I never know which chart is going to be good. So NAS does trigger a negative move here. Let's see if we can just make a little bit on the NAS here. Do I have control here? I don't have control on this thing. What happened? Did it just go? Or did it take full 10? I guess it took full 10. Wow. Okay. So the NAS took full 10. That was great. So at least we made plus 10 for the day after a very, very choppy up and down move. Not pretty, but we win ugly, which is better than not winning at all. And it's a good example. Again, today I half-assedly try to run straddles both sides. You saw that I tried, when it went to to the highs, and it didn't really do any continuity. I got out of it pretty quickly, and then I said, okay, let's try to see if we can, if the lows get taken out, if that's gonna make our run. And the lows did take out. As you can see, it hit the TP over here. It was super fast on the move. Another good, just a good example, by the way, of why you have to have the tool to trade this, right? The speed of execution is just too fast most of the time. But what this shows you, in just general terms, on a 1 minute chart, the same truth is true on multi time frame charts, is that it's always this battle between the buyers and the sellers. And what our setup does is it tries to unearth the truth of who has the control, right? So in this case, the buyers tried to take the control, they failed. The sellers, busted the buyers over here, and that gave us a true signal to the downside. Which was a great signal. Just like the signal that was here, this was the buyer signal. This signal over here also gave us a signal. And remember, if my fundamental bias here was negative because of the Google antitrust news. So if you want to overlay the fundamentals, you could say I'm just going to skew negative most of the time and let the sells prove. Like I'm not going to take the buy signals. I'm only going to take the sell signals when they prove themselves. You would have been totally fine. I got very lucky on the buy signal because I just blew out of it because I saw that it didn't have a lot of juice. But you clearly see that the sell signals have a lot more juice right now, right? So sometimes you can use the funda to help orient yourself to which side is going to be more biased, and that really helps you. Sometimes you can't, but it doesn't, I think the fund to overlay here, especially on a day-to-day basis, is a really interesting dimension that we should pay attention to. We know the story, right? It's just like last night. I don't know if you guys followed me on Twitter. This is a good example. Let me just hang on a second. Let me put you guys over here. Let me find my tweet. Hey guys, hey JK and Daniel. Sorry, I had created a waiting room today for some stupid reason in Zoom, so my apologies for keeping you guys waited. I'm going to try and lift that restraint tomorrow, so you can just come in and join me. We're pretty much done with live trading for today, but I'm just I wanted to show the fundamental overlay importance. Just bear with me a second here, guys. Where the hell is this thing? I'm just going to pull my own tweet. Just bear with me. Let me find this, because this is a good example of what I'm talking about here. Okay, here it is. So let me copy this tweet into the room, and then we're going to take a look at the charts to show how. So this was right. So what happens? Oh, sorry. Control C. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, maybe this was the. Let me hang on a second. Sorry. Copy a link to this tweet. Is this the tweet? Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So. And this is, you see this is 5 o'clock New York close yesterday, right? By the way, if you guys are still playing, this is a sell in NAS, another sell possibility in NAS here with a 10-20. Let's see if that would have worked out here. It's another sell signal for us as the trend starts to deteriorate to the downside. Anyways, so Nancy Pelosi comes out and says, we're getting close. This is positive. This is stimulus news positive for NAS and ES into the Asia session. So what happens in the Asia session last night, right? Let's take a look at this. Just want to show you. So we're going to go to, what is this? Now I got to go. Problem is, okay, yeah. So this is pretty much, trust me on this. But this is, what time is this? This is around 5. So this is +7. So that would be, so this is 5 in the morning -5. This is 10 o'clock. Yeah, this is around 10 o'clock at night, 9-10 o'clock at night, New York, which is Asia session, right? And what you see, if you have a positive bias, is look at this. This is a sell signal, gets broken over here. If you took the positive move here, super easy trade to the upside, right? You had sell-offs into the New York. I think this is the New York close, right? Sell-offs into the New York close, but then reversals right back up. If you've sort of had a positive bias. I think I had it on my. Now it's easier for me to look at my futures because I traded this, to the futures side. Just bear with me a sec. Let me see if I can find this. So annoying. Can I move this back? Does this move back or no? Yeah, it does. I want to go. What time is this? This is GMT. So this is on GMT, so +4 be 2000. What the hell is this? Yeah. So okay. So this is on futures, just a lot easier for me. And you see me, I'm buying over here, I'm buying over there. I was actually buying on my big contract, but sell signal reversed buy, sell signals reversed buy, sell signals reversed buy. All of those trades were working like clockwork. This is basically the Asia Open, against a fundamentally positive piece of news. And all you do is just you wait for the setup, wait for the setup, wait for the setup, and it worked. Worked stellar, worked like a charm. To the upside, just like I don't know. This one seems to be. This one seems to be actually this particular trade was a fake out here today. This broke us to the to the downside on this particular move right now, right? So as much as you try, you can't always get every single trade. But for live trading, we still wound up plus 10 on official trades, which was great. Even though, look at this, this was just brutally tough as far as price action, because there was just no direction whatsoever. Let me just see if there's anything else on the DAX, on the Dow. Oh, look at that. That was my so the one clear trade, and this is it's always the case. We're never going to hit every single one of them, but the Dow had a clean, crisp, clear signal over here, which we just simply were talking. We just missed it. So that would have been one more winner for us had we taken that trade. I'm actually one of the things I just want to just bear with me a second, guys. I wonder. I think the problem is I got to do. This is probably what I should be doing in the future is just tiling this so that we can watch all these signals all at once, so I don't miss a lot of the stuff coming up. Eventually, two things are going to be happening that are going to make our life a lot easier as far as trading. First of all, Dougie is building a volatility filter for me. So, like, let's say if the trigger candle is bigger than the stop, right? It's bigger than the stop. Remember how our rule is: if it's bigger than the stop, we don't trade it because it's too much volatility. So it's automatically not going to take a trade if you set that function to true, right? The second thing is Daniel is going to do a what is that called? Like a scanner for us. So I'll be able to have like an MT4 scanner that will tell me when the buy candle or the sell candle is showing up on whatever end. Like it's single chart that will say to me, Dow has a buy candle. So this way I can actually look at a single overlay on a single chart, and then we can shift over to that particular instrument and trade it fast as it's setting up. So that's going to make our life a lot easier. But those are a couple of things that they'll make live trading even more productive. But nevertheless, still a pretty good day today. Better than nothing. And we'll resume tomorrow. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any final ideas? We missed the Dow. That's my one thing that's killing me. But other than that, everything was fine. Everybody's good? Okay. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the day. Have fun. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same bat channel. Everybody have a great day. All right, guys. Thank you. Take care.